the Brad Marchand trade to the Florida Panthers. They got him so damn cheap, and he was so damn effective in the playoffs.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, all. Welcome back to Rink-Side Hits and Clips with
Hits
Zach
and
and
Clips.
Noah.
Zach and Noah. This is Zach's very first live stream.
It is my first time doing it live. This has been
Yes.
nothing short of an awesome experience.
Awesome experience indeed.
And you know what? This hockey season was an awesome experience.
It was.
For us Leafs fans, it was a bit of a heartbreaker again because we didn't make it to the Cup final. And, of course, we lost to the team who won the Cup final. But you know what? Congratulations to the Florida Panthers.
Yes.
We wait again for Canada to win its first Cup, but in due time.
Have you noticed that all the American teams who have won, have all had Canadian players on their teams?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have noticed that. And I will say it's something out of the ordinary because over half of the NHL is made up of all Canadian players. There's
true.
400 and some odd Canadian players.
Wow.
And the next closest one is Americans, which make up 250 something.
That's crazy.
So over it's almost half of the league is Canadian players. So I'm not surprised by that.
So would that mean that Canada does have a chance at winning the Cup one day?
Well,
a Canadian team?
Yes, we will win the Cup one day. It just depends when. We just got to get the right formula, and it's hard to do because only one of 30 teams can win every year.
Oh, true.
So you can't always win, and you have to have a good team, and you have to have a system, and you have to know how to work within the salary cap.
You do.
That is one thing that I do kind of, even though as a Leaf fan, it can be annoying at times because, the salary cap limits what the Leafs can do because they have the money and the firepower.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like it because it does allow teams to not just go out and buy their way to a championship.
Yes.
And you have seen ways that teams have gotten crafty and creative in terms of winning the Stanley Cup. One of the rules that I think the NHL should probably fix, but it's an interesting loop, and maybe they have addressed this already, is the whole how you can put a guy on LTR, which is long-term reserve or injury.
Oh, okay.
But then you can say, the playoffs are here now, so if they're on LTR, they don't count against your salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
But then the playoffs come around, the salary cap doesn't apply. So you can take the guy off LTR. He hasn't counted against your salary cap for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a little something wrong with him, but nothing major. So you say, we're going to throw him on LTR for the whole season. Then you bring him in the playoffs, and he might be a really good player, and he'll score you a lot of goals and help you win. Well, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Vegas Golden Knights have both implemented strategies along this line.
I can see that.
Has it worked for them? Well, I don't think particularly in the years that they've won the Cups, they used that theory. So I don't know if it's totally worked, but their teams have had some success in the playoff rounds with it. Not that they won the Cups those years.
Yeah. Seattle seems to be, or Vegas seems to be the team that was able to figure it out the quickest, where Seattle has been off to a little bit of a slow start.
Yes. I don't know what's going on in Seattle. I think we may see a Colorado situation because for the longest time I was like, is Colorado really that good? Remember, there was a couple of years before recent times where I was like, are they that good? And people were like, what is this team? And then all of a sudden, within 1 to 2 seasons, they became really good.
They did.
And everybody was like, they were like a sleeper cell. They were kind of under the radar. You weren't expecting them to be good. And then all of a sudden they became really good. And does Seattle get there this year? Maybe. I think they do.
I think they could.
I do too.
Now that they've added Mason Marchand on.
Yes, Mason Marchand has been added to their team. By the way, shout out to a local Uxbridge kid. Ooh, go Mason Marchand and go Kraken next season.
Yes, go Kraken.
The other thing is, I just think it would be great to see a team in the Pacific Northwest win a cup.
That would be great.
Because Vancouver has not done that. And there hasn't been a team in that area who's won a cup recently.
No, I don't even think. Has Vancouver ever won a cup before?
No, they
I
were in
didn't
the
think
Cup
they did.
finals in 2010, but they didn't win that year. Boston ended up winning.
Right.
Yeah, they have not yet won a cup. But
Edmonton came so close too.
yeah,
The
Edmonton
Oilers
did come
twice.
close twice. Unfortunately, came up short both years in a row. But we're facing a mighty opponent in the Florida Panthers.
Mhm.
But we'll see.
Now that Mitch Marner is part of the Vegas Golden Knights,
I feel like he's kind of freer, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
Like when he
even
was
when
here
Ilya
in-
Samsonov joined the team, he seemed a little bit more free too.
It's kind of hard to explain, but here in Toronto, sometimes you can feel like the world is like sitting on top of you. There's a lot of pressure because you're
Mhm.
like, well, in Marner's case, he's from Toronto, so it's like the hometown kid, right?
Yeah,
And so the pressure just gets to you. And if you don't perform, the fans just eat you alive. And you
They
just
do.
get to the point where it's like, man, do I really want to play there? Everybody's always telling me that I'm not living up to what they expected, whatever.
Mhm.
And now he's going into Vegas and they're treating him like he's like a A1 superstar, which he is a really good player. But
He's like
being
royalty
in
there.
Toronto, he was like the third guy because you had like Matthews and Tavares and Nylander. He was like the third or fourth guy, maybe even the second guy at times, but he was always under the microscope. But now he's going to Vegas, and I feel like Marner is going to have a heck of a season in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
And playing in the Western Conference will be quite interesting.
That will, especially when you're facing opponents like Los Angeles and
Yeah, he'll be facing the
Edmonton.
LA Kings and Edmonton Oilers.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll be interesting if McDavid stays with the Oilers. Watching McDavid and Marner battle it out in the West, that'll be quite a scenario.
That will. And now, like you said, Ryan Reeves is part of San Jose.
Ryan Reeves is now part of San Jose, which will be interesting.
I don't think San Jose's there yet.
No, why do you think San Jose picked him up though? Like I get it, maybe the Leafs were trying to get rid of him because the Leafs didn't really use him that much last year, so they was looking to get rid of him. But San Jose, in my mind, is rebuilding, and
They're
Reeves is
rebuilding?
not a rebuilding kind of player. He's like a player you bring in if you're looking for that edge, the grittiness, and like you're in like a win now, but we need that guy who can stir it up and get us a big hit or tackle or something.
I think because San Jose wasn't getting that last year.
Okay.
They probably went out and they said, hey, this is the guy that we want. He has experience from being in New York and being in Toronto.
And Vegas.
Yep. So I think this is the best move for him. I bet this is the best environment and organization for him to be a part of. And I think he'll contribute a lot more than we expect he will.
He will definitely have some success, hopefully, in San Jose.
San Jose.
I mean, I'm wishing the guy nothing but success.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate his time with the Leafs. And unfortunate it didn't work out. But hopefully he has good luck in San Jose.
And not only that, but San Jose is also a team that picked up a bunch of, couple of first-round picks over the past couple of years of the draft.
You're talking about like Macron, Celebrini. By the way, just want to say, somebody pair that guy with Sidney Crosby. Did you see them playing at the World Cup?
I didn't.
It was like they got eliminated, but those two were a dynamic duo. Well, whether it was passing back and forth to each other before they would score, or one guy setting up the other guy to score, whatever. Wow. Those two were a dynamic duo, and I would love to see Malcolm Celebrini and Sidney Crosby on the same team. That when they played for Team Canada, that looked good. That looked really good. It was like a magic duo.
Even in the face-off series tournament they had. Now, he didn't play in that one, but, Crosby, McDavid, whole bunch of those guys, like they worked together.
Yes, and the Four Nations face-off. The Four Nations face-off was great. We have Mitch Marner to thank. He helped big time in getting us to the championship of the Four Nations face-off. So that was awesome.
That was.
Which team are you kind of looking forward to seeing next year as like the team that's kind of going to surprise everybody or come out of nowhere from this offseason and people are going to be like, I didn't have them on my radar, and now they're kind of creeping up?
New York Islanders.
The New York Islanders. Now that's quite the pick. I actually kind of like that. They were not on my radar. I was not thinking Islanders as a team you were going to give me.
There was teams that were almost like a dark shadow, like Nashville or Detroit, who made some good moves by picking or signing a few guys in the past. But I think with a team that just landed Matthew Schaefer first overall, who wasn't expecting it. They landed a good couple of draft or signings over.
Does Patrick stay? Because as far as I know, he's in the third year of his contract. Does he stay on as the head coach? I mean, I'm a bit biased because he's a second cousin of mine, related. Right. Yes. So a bit biased in that department. But yeah, will he stay on? Who knows? Lou Lamoriello is gone from the Islanders.
I would give
Matt Martin has officially retired. I thought he would be the next general manager of the New York Islanders, but that didn't happen. They did hire somebody else.
I think Patrick stays on for. You give him one more year. You see what he's like, see what he can adapt to, and in the meantime, you look for a secondary option if he's not the go-to guy. But I think the Islanders pick caught us all off guard. I don't think any of us expected that New York was going to get the first overall pick, but
no, I did not expect New York to get the first overall pick. I was definitely thinking Columbus.
Oh, Columbus for sure.
I was definitely thinking Columbus, and then I was thinking that they had a good angel in Goudreau watching over them, and maybe he would help them get that first overall pick, but it didn't happen that way.
No.
But that's an interesting story too, Columbus. From a team that was competitive to a team that went out and got Patrick Laine and Johnny Gaudreau and still couldn't put it all together and had all the pieces that they do.
Yeah. They just fell so short.
What happened in Columbus? And now they're in a full rebuild, I would say, because there's not much there because Gaudreau is gone, unfortunately, in unfortunate circumstances. Laine is in Montreal now.
Yeah.
Columbus looking for something. I mean, they don't have Mike Babcock. They don't have John Tortorella anymore. So where does it go from there? I mean, the whole Babcock thing was just odd.
That was just bizarre.
If you're a team who wants to be good, you then need to find a way to get there. And finishing in that middle area where you're not in the playoffs, but you're not the worst team. But again, you could have made the playoffs had things gone your way a bit more. How do you get out of that?
It's a jam.
It's a jam. It's the log jam.
The log jam.
But there's ways out of it, and Calgary has to define themselves. I think they have to make a decision on Huberdeau. Are they with Huberdeau or are they not with Huberdeau? And
I would honestly
where are they going from there?
I would tank him, to be honest. I would see what else is out there.
So you would trade him, get rid of him? Yeah, I would too. I don't think he's worked out in Calgary. And then the other guy that I'm surprised is still hanging on in Calgary because I don't really understand it is Kadri.
Kadri, yeah.
I mean, I get it. Calgary plays with that edge and he has that, but the team is not being successful. So how long are you going to keep going back to the same team that's kind of been getting the same results in the last so many years? And then if I'm Kadri, why am I not looking up the highway?
Yeah.
I'd be I'm going north. I'm not playing for you guys. I'm going to play for the Oilers.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe, if I'm Edmonton and Calgary's looking to get rid of Huberdeau and you can get a deal where you can somehow work it on the cheap.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You probably want to put him on your team because I just don't see he's not working in Calgary. It's not working. He needs to go elsewhere and Calgary needs to define where they're going. I don't know.
Oh, they do. Yeah. I think that Calgary needs to unleash, because I think we mentioned that we talked briefly about this at the very beginning of Calgary needs to kind of look at the coaching options they have too and see, is that going in the direction where they need to go?
Right.
Then look, I mean, your goaltending is good, although you just traded Dan Vladar to Philadelphia, so he signed with the Flyers.
Right.
So now you're down to Dustin Wolf, and who's your secondary option because he can't hold the fort down for 82.
Right. Wolf. Whatever happened to the guy that they never should have traded to they never should have traded Markstrom.
No, they should have kept him around.
They should have kept Markstrom. I mean, if Markstrom didn't, Demko Demko has become the Vancouver success story. Not Markstrom. Markstrom's now with his Jersey.
Oh, is it New Jersey now?
Yeah, he's
with,
over on the
Allen.
East Coast. But they never should have traded Markstrom. And then the other guy that I haven't heard about in a long time is the guy that Vancouver got from Washington. Is he retired?
Braden Holtby.
Holtby, what happened to him? Did he fall off the map? Is he retired?
From what I heard, he retired, but like you said, I think he's fallen off the face of the earth. I don't know where.
He went to Vancouver, and then I was like, he's gonna work in Vancouver. No, because remember when he was with Washington, he was like one of the best goalies in the league.
He was.
And then it was like, I go to Vancouver. Demko's the guy now.
I think the reason why even Vancouver picked him up because they saw how much success he had with
Washington.
Holtby.
Yeah, I do feel that success can be situational to a team that you're on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it can.
And Huberdeau, if you ask me, the Panthers won that trade with Calgary for
yes, they did.
Tkachuk for Huberdeau.
The biggest mistake they made.
Yeah, I mean, clearly we know that Tkachuk wanted out of Calgary. That's why they made that trade. But Huberdeau has been in the dumps, and Tkachuk is going and winning cups. All right, here we go. Spoiler alert. Right. The Brad Marchand trade to the Florida Panthers. They got him so damn cheap, and he was so damn effective in the playoffs. And
I was in the Metropolitan.
He's now signed again with Florida for 6 or 7 years, which is a little long for the age that he is, because the guy's 37. But I think they had to do it to try and work the math with the cap, right? They had to really massage it so they could sign all the guys that they wanted to re-sign again.
Yeah.
And they've backloaded the contract. So we'll see. But that trade was the best trade going.
That was a steal.
They got him for nothing, and he was MVP in the playoffs, and scored a bunch for them, and really made a difference.
I think he scored the double overtime win that would have gave Edmonton the leap in that series.
Right, and so that was the best trade of all of last year, and Florida did masterful work to get him for the cheap that they did, and now they've re-signed him, and hey. Go Brad Marchand.
Dang. That's crazy, man.
I know. Imagine if any other team would have got him, what could have been, especially a contending team, like if he'd been on the Leafs or if he'd been on the Oilers.
Oh, the Oilers?
Yeah. I think he would have made the big difference. I think he really did help Florida.
He was a big
contributor to the Stanley Cup again this year.
Yep. What was your reaction when you first heard that?
I said, shit, Florida paid nothing for him. They got him for too freaking cheap. If I'm Boston, why the frig would I agree to that deal? I would not agree to that deal. That's a shit deal. First of all, you trade your captain. Mm-hmm. So that's got to be worth something. And second of all, you trade him to Florida Panthers, who are probably a Stanley Cup contender. And because they just won the year before. Mm-hmm. And then what? You get a conditional second round pick. A conditional second round pick. For me, that would have easily been a guaranteed pick, maybe some cash.
Oh, for sure.
And a conditional pick. Mm-hmm. Or it would have been a player, maybe, and a conditional pick.
Yeah, they should have at least.
Because how do you give away your captain and a guy with Brad Marchand who has a reputation of being a solid player to the team that is the Stanley Cup champions trying to defend it again for a conditional second round pick, only to have him go on and be the MVP, which I highly predicted that he was going to be very assistful to the Florida Panthers in the playoffs. I was thinking that. And so when Florida got him, I'm like, they got him dirt cheap.
100%.
Dirt cheap. And Boston got a conditional second round pick, which they will get now because the Florida Panthers did meet the condition. They went all the way to the Cup final and they won again.
Yeah.
And it was something about they had to make so many rounds in the playoffs to get this conditional pick. And it was met. The conditions were met. So Boston will get the pick. But you gave up your captain. You gave him to the team that probably had the best odds to go back out and win the Stanley Cup.
For sure.
He became the MVP of the playoffs. and you gave him away for a second round conditional pick.
Easily, you could have got something more out of that.
Yeah, you could have got a prospect, a conditional pick, maybe some cash, maybe a prospect and a conditional pick, maybe a player, a low grade player, and a conditional pick, maybe some cash, something. But anyways, kudos to Florida and Boston. What were you thinking? You could have got way more. And now look, he signed with, re-signed again with Florida on a deal, and they paid him some good money.
It's like for 7 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like 6 or 7 years, and they paid him good money. So they know he's worth something. And we saw it.
Totally.
And I knew when they traded him, he was worth something. But obviously there was something because Boston didn't really get anything for him. No. Okay, they got a second round pick, but there's a possibility they would have lost it because it was conditional.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a masterclass trade by Florida and a horrible move by the Boston Bruins, who could have got more for that.
I think we won't see Boston in the playoffs for the next couple.
No,
of years.
Boston is definitely in a rebuilding phase.
Yes,
and their problem is they're in the log jam a bit.
Yeah,
they're right there with like Calgary and these other teams. They're not the worst, but they ain't the best. And so, yeah, you're in the log jam. So yeah, there'll be a couple of years without the Boston Bruins in the playoffs. That'll be good for Maple Leafs, but we have Florida on our hands now, so we got to deal with that.
Yeah.
Looking at the East, though, it'll be interesting to see what the Rangers can do. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't have a better season than what they did.
I thought they would have done the same with New Jersey.
Yes.
I mean, they did clinch, but
right.
I thought they'd go a little bit farther than I thought they were.
Right. Yeah, I kind of feel like New Jersey has that Leafs, the Leafs thing from a couple of years ago, where the Leafs were like really good in the season, and they get to the playoffs and they just can't get it done.
Yeah.
And now the Leafs are getting a little better in the sense that they can get to the second round, and that they can take a team like Florida all the way to 7 games.
Yeah.
But I feel like Jersey is at that place where it's like they need to get more depth for playoff experience and like a little more tougher. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Jersey does. But the Rangers really surprised me last year.
Yeah, I was so surprised about that.
They have a great goaltender in Shesterkin. I mean, Shesterkin is a world-class goalie. And if I was on any team, I would want Shesterkin. And they have some great talent there. And the one that's really shocked me out of the first round pick is Lafreniere.
Lafreniere, eh?
Yeah, Alexis Lafreniere. I would have thought he would have had more of an impact on going to the Rangers, but he hasn't had a huge impact.
He hasn't.
Subtle, but not like, it hasn't been like a big impact.
Yeah, it hasn't been what we all thought it was going to turn into be.
The guy who is very interesting to me is the Artemi Panarin.
Panarin.
That was an interesting thing. He went to Chicago, and then he left Chicago, and now he's been in New York. And it'll be interesting to see if the Rangers can figure out some pieces to kind of figure out their team and go on a playoff run, because I do think New York has some pieces there that could be successful if they just added a few other pieces.
For sure. Do you think the Rangers would be buyers or sellers at the deadline
this year? I think it depends on what happens out of the gates. But if they're doing bad at the deadline, I think they're sellers. If they're doing decent, I think they buy.
Yeah.
But I don't think they buy with the intention of trying to win the cup. They're buying for the intention of long-term success.
Yes, for sure.
So I'm not thinking that they're aggressively buying. They're buying only if the pieces are right for longer-term success.
That'll be interesting, though.
Yeah, it will be interesting. The other one that I am really curious to see, because I think they'll be even better next year, and I just don't know what pieces they might try and pick or add or whatever, is the Montreal Canadiens.
The Habs, eh?
They have really impressed me last year. They were a team that was like, nobody, not really on the radar, but they kind of went into the playoffs, and
they did.
They did well against Washington. I mean, Washington definitely was better, but they did well against Washington.
Yeah. And now you got Noah Dobson on from the Islanders.
Noah Dobson, yeah. So it'll be really interesting to see what the Canadians can do. And Laine will be there, and hopefully he'll get a full season because he was injured some last year. And so it'll be quite interesting to see what happens there.
What do you think about the goaltending for Montreal? Do you think that Montembeault would be the go-to guy? Who's your backup? Who are you leaning on?
So, okay. So I'm not sure on Montembeault. Yeah, Montembeault is good, but I'm not sure. If I'm the Canadians, I might be looking for another goaltender who could back up Montembeault. Or Montembeault is not working out. Goodbye. Bring in somebody like a Shesterkin or somebody else. Now, the goaltender market this year has not been great. There's not a lot of goalies available, so you would have to work magic to try and get a goaltender in there. But if it were me, I think their best option is to find somebody who can really back up Montembeault well.
Yeah.
Because I think we are seeing more and more that some teams have goalies, and that's their goaltender, and that's who they use. And some teams have goaltender tandems.
Yes. My only suggestion or something that I would do if I'm Montreal is I'd look at what the Rockets did in the AHL. They made it far in the Eastern Conference. You could either bring up a goalie from your affiliate or make a trade with Carolina or Vancouver's affiliate who ended up in the finals. Because they had a stellar run.
That's right.